Rain, rain, rain every single day. That's all we ever seem to have anymore around here is just clouds and rain. It is certainly getting a little bit old and boring. The lawn in the back of the house is growing really nice. The neighbor's tree died during the winter. Have some nice rose bushes blooming here in the front of my house. But we just have cloudy days and rain every single day. So the title of this video is My DIY Solar Panels Are Failing. And indeed they are. See them right here in the window in the front of the house. They're not waterproof panels, and so I don't bring them outside ever unless the weather's nice. But I put them up in the window, and they used to work pretty good, but unfortunately they are failing, and it is completely my fault because of the way I built them. I built them wrong. So let's go inside and have a look at them. So I built these solar panels last summer using these 3 by 6 inch untabbed cells. Bought them on eBay from ML Solar. Here's a package that I never actually used. Got my cut tabbing wire, so I'm all ready to go on making another panel here, but I'm not gonna be. I learned how to do this by watching a few YouTube channels on guys that build their own solar panels. One in particular, Dan Roja, who has some very good videos on how to build the DIY solar panels using these type of cells. I followed his instructions pretty much all the way until I got to the part where I should have encapsulated the 36 cells that I put on the panel onto the glass frame like he suggested. I decided to use this piece of plywood, one of these pieces of plywood that you see here. This is supposed to be for my third panel. It's just some plywood that I had around. I cut it to the right size to hold the 36 cells. And these are the two that I built right here sitting in the window. I didn't know that there was anything wrong with them until I had installed these handy little voltmeters onto each panel. This is panel number 1 and panel number 2. The problem I noticed immediately was that each panel is reading different. This one is at 13 volts, number 2, and this one is at 14.5. And I thought, what's going on? They used to read identical over last summer, but as they've been sitting all winter long, something has happened to them. These panels have warped on me. That actually started right after I had glued all my cells down there, and I knew that they had warped, and I didn't think it would be a problem, but if I look closely, I can see a lot of these cells are cracked and broken. I would imagine they're still working somewhat. See this one, the tabbing wires even started to pull away. And yeah, this one is not too bad. This is the one that was working pretty good. But this one here is down quite a bit, and I can clearly see a lot more broken cells here. Like that, for example. That's probably the worst one there, but I'm actually seeing a whole bunch of them here. So the warping of the board is causing these cells to break. And I can only imagine that's going to get worse and worse. So I honestly don't see any future in these two panels. I think they're going to get worse and worse. And I'm a little bit fed up with them because I put a lot of work into these. They did work good, and I learned a bunch of stuff about them. But I'm pretty much done with these. So I went ahead and bought myself a brand spanking new, already made panel. Let's go have a look at that. So I ordered this solar panel online, and it was to be delivered to the local Home Depot for pickup by me. But I was never ever notified about it being delivered to the Home Depot. About 10 days went by, and I never received an email or a phone call or anything. On this day, I decided to call them up and see if it had been delivered and was ready for pickup. However, nobody answered the phone there. It was very, very frustrating. I must have called at least a half a dozen times and I couldn't even get through to anybody. So after work, I was a little frustrated about this and decided to drive out there and pick it up. It was quite a long ways to go. So they were very, very apologetic on the mix-up of communication, but the solar panel was there ready, waiting for me to pick it up. So that's all to be forgotten now. I've got my solar panel. It's time to head home with it. Okay, I just spent about an hour doing a nice review unboxing on my brand new solar panel here. And when I went to take the footage out of the camera and edit it, I discovered that my SD card had corrupted and everything that I filmed was just lost forever. So it's the first time I've ever had that happen. Just a little bit frustrating. So I'll quickly go over everything here. The solar panel is, I forget the actual dimensions of it. It weighs 19 pounds. It's a Grape solar panel from Grape Solar. It's actually made right here in Oregon, about 190 miles from my home. I actually tested it. I had it sitting right here like this, leaning up against this bar stool. And I had the Innova connected up to the two leads here. And with it just like this out here that you see now, it's overcast, but we get a little bit of sun here and there. It was raining a little while ago. Just with it sitting right here on the floor, and it's only, as you can see, it's only getting partial light on, but it's not direct sunlight. I got 16 volts out of that thing. Actually, about 16 and a half volts. And that's pretty amazing. That would actually barely charge my 12 volt lithium pack that I built a few weeks ago. It would really have trouble charging it at that. It would need more than a little bit more than 16, but it would actually begin to charge it, just take forever. So imagine what this panel will do outside in direct sunlight, or I am going to be putting it up in this window. It will fit, but I'm going to have to put some security measures so that it doesn't come crashing back down onto the floor, because it would just basically be sitting up there, but I'll rig it up somehow. So when I bought this panel, it did have the option of having the mounting hardware, which would mount, I guess, in those holes. I thought it was tremendously overpriced, so I didn't buy it. You could easily go to the local Lowe's or Home Depot and buy stuff there to make mounting hardware for it quite easily and much more inexpensive. It's got a nice tag here on the back, which I can't read because I don't have the right glasses on. So it should have the diode already mounted in there. I saw that in the instruction book. The leads, I'm going to have to buy a couple of these. These are called MC4, or it might be M4C. I think it's MC4 connectors. I already looked them up. You can buy them on Amazon or eBay, and then probably wait 6 or 8 weeks for them to arrive. But it looks like there's a place here in town where I can actually buy a couple of these with like 6 or 8 inch leads just wires already on them, and that's all I would need. If I was going to do multiple panels, having them wired together in series and parallel, that could get kind of expensive. You can buy them the cables set up for however you want to wire them up together, but like I said, it's kind of expensive when you start adding a bunch of these panels together. But they're apparently really good connectors. So I'll pick up 2 of those. That's all I'll need. See, the book tells you about lots of that stuff, all the different connectors and the benefits of advantages of series, parallel, and all the rest. Really good stuff here. Lots of good information in the Grape Solar book here. So that's about it, I guess. It's going to be a while before I have this mounted up here in the window, or I can, of course, just carry it outside. I don't really have any place outside here to mount this panel except up on the roof. So I don't know. I'm kind of at the mercy of just having it in the window or just carrying it outside and leaning it against my truck or something. It would probably do pretty good out there right now because it's kind of sunny out there. But 5 minutes from now, we could have rain. It's just the way things are here in Oregon right at the moment. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think it's going to work, and I plan to do some extensive testing with this, getting the charge controller out, and I got the 12-volt battery pack to fool around with. So yeah, that's about it. One last thing I learned about this. I really had never researched homemade or already made solar panels, but I learned about the Grape solar panel built here in Oregon from YouTube, from somebody I'm subscribed to on YouTube, a channel, Pippi Peterson. She has a really nice RV channel. She lives in an RV somewhere down in Arizona or Nevada or something like that, or New Mexico. And she does a lot of really good stuff with her RV. And she recently installed panels on top of her RV, and she used these Grape solar panels. Pippi apparently is also from Oregon. And apparently last summer when she was here traveling through Oregon, she actually was less than a mile from my house at one point in time. But I, of course, didn't know it because I didn't see the video until she uploaded it weeks later. But that's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'll share a link to her channel. She's very, very entertaining. A lot of RV stuff and some. She just recently installed solar on her RV, and she's kind of in the middle of that project. So anyway, check out her channel. So we'll be back with a lot more stuff this summer on this Grape solar panel. Thanks for watching.